ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another vlog assignment. Today, we're brought to you by Brandon Crabtree, Elliot Jones, Nicholas Campus, and myself. Without the participation of my group mates, I can't be standing before you guys today. Thank you guys so much for your hard work and dedication. Well, let's get into it, right? Our vlog assignment is about the 3 reasons why we should vote as American citizens. Let me start you off with a PBS told story on December 22nd of 2019, where it was reported that a mother named Andrea and her child named Jose were separated while seeking asylum from an MS-13 gang. Now, as these people were separated, a lot of things happened in these stations. Things that when they were finally reunited, they were not able to rekindle that same relationship they had once they were split apart. Fortunately now, Andrea's lawyers had told her that she was able to seek asylum for her and her son. But, unfortunately, others in her position might not have been given this chance. In fact, the TRAC Immigration reports that 65% of those seeking asylum were often denied and returned back to their homes. This shows how much that one thing can change a whole person's life. The DREAM Act of August 1st, 2001, however, gives an example of how immigrant children who have lived in the United States their whole lives can become U.S. citizens. However, situations like Andrea's and Jose's can only be avoided in one way, that is to vote. From the events that occurred in Andrea and Jose's lives, it should be clear that America needs to listen to the sounds of its people. A country is only as strong as the will of its people, by the way. So, to begin with, I will show you why, and I will elaborate why you should vote. To begin with, we look at the history behind our voting privilege and recognize the great efforts and countless amount of sacrifices that were put in order to gain it. Those that were in minority groups had unfortunately been put down under and were often ignored for their voices. However, those acts, such as the DREAM Act, is absolutely critical and has a way of turning immigrants into citizens, which would be lovely for anyone that is seeking asylum away from a very unfortunate country, let's say like Nicaragua. While during its whole situation over there were often refugees coming in. Those refugees were denied, and it's just a sad case. When we vote, we realize that the land of the free becomes less and less specific. The land of the free has become a place where it's not really free, and not everyone is equal. For example, those in the minority group have been underwhelmed this entire time. It was only until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that finally granted African Americans the right to vote. And also another example is the 14th Amendment by Obama, which allowed same-sex marriage in 2015 to be legal, which is amazing. As we can see from these facts, America has been fighting for a long time to extend the promise of freedom to all its people. But we still have a long way to go. That's why we need to vote, in order to make a place where everyone feels comfortable. Let us recall back to Andrea and Jose's story, however. And through the fight for the right for American immigrants creates hope for those that are undermined. A hope that was close to realization through our democratic process, with voting. By means of democracy, we're able to speak the struggles of minority and migrant Americans. Voting is imperative if we are to account for those undermined Americans. This means that parties that want to put them under and probably stack up their own hierarchy can no longer be given that power once we are able to vote. We take those, like let's say Britain, for example. We came from an area where the kings ruled and knew nothing about the people. Now that we have that, we took that power away and gave it to others. We give and we take. It's not just a we take and we no give. You know, it's a balanced relationship. But these need votes. It is more difficult for these demographics to be informed, including